Okay. So YouTube is recording. I'm not live because they tripping. But I will just begin to talk. So exactly 25 weeks ago, I had posed the question to men, and I asked the question. I said, what is it that you want? Specifically asking them, what is it that you want from a woman? Let me fix this because I look really big here. Anyway, and a lot of men did respond. So some of the responses were spiritual transcendence, have someone who is respectful, someone who can help me build, someone who's beautiful inside, someone who can support me through my darkest hours, someone who, what else did they say? I was trying to write this down. I was rushing here. I just got off. So I rushed here really quickly. But I'm gonna plug me in because I don't want no problems. Oops, look at my hands all over the front. Y'all, this is gonna be crazy. Anyway, um, someone who doesn't nag, someone who isn't loud and boisterous, someone who is herself on and off social media, someone who is supportive, someone who has wisdom. So only about 6 to 8 men responded with that. They said these things to me. So I had taken a while to compile all this information, do some research in order to know exactly how I wanted to approach the men who responded as well as other men who did not respond. And I came up with a few different verses. Now, whether you believe what's in the Bible or not is really neither here nor there. Facts are facts. You can still plug this in into standard social settings and see that it's going to ring true no matter what. So I started off with Proverbs 31. A lot of people read Proverbs. They know that it's talking about what type of woman you should be going for. And essentially, when a man says, this is what I want in a woman, my main question will always be, okay, well, what are you doing to acquire or attain that type of woman, right? And what are you doing that it might be causing you to not have that kind of woman that you say you desire? Because a lot of times we always say what we want in a person, but we're not doing the things that are necessary to attract that person. We're not that person's equal opposite that would allow for us to attract them, for them to come into our lives, for them to be attracted to us in the same ways as we are to them. But the type of woman, if you want a woman who's honorable and respectful and isn't out here thoughting in the streets and she doesn't give you the blues all the time, if she's not always being combative and argumentative, she listens well, she speaks wisdom when she does speak, she's not always trying to talk over you, she's not argumentative. I think I said that already. A lot of women nowadays are super argumentative and I don't understand why. But the heart of her husband trusts in her, and he will have no lack of gain. This is Proverbs 31, starting with verse 10. Well, it's 11 technically. She does him good and not harm. This is the kind of woman you guys say you want, right? She does good and not harm all the days of her life. She works, so this is paraphrasing, she works well with her hands. She's a hard worker. Strength and dignity are her clothing. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. Men, is this the kind of woman that you have tried to pursue in the past? Is this the kind of woman that you have entertained in the past? Because if this is not the kind of woman that you have even entertained, and then you say things like spiritual transcendence, a woman who has wisdom, who's honorable, who's not in the streets, you have to be exactly, we attract who we are. Precisely. So if you are out there, if you're in the club, you're going to find a club thought. If you are standing on the corner, you're probably going to find somebody who's trying to prostitute. You know what I mean? So you have to also be aware of your surroundings. What kind of woman is in these types of environments. Strength and dignity are her clothing, right? She opens her mouth with wisdom, and the teachings of kindness is on her tongue. So, a lot of times, I know me personally, I give a lot of flack to women who are promiscuous, who are with different kind of men, who always talking about men need to pay my bills and they need to do this, this, and that, or I'm always finding bums, and they aren't finding the right type of man because they aren't the right type of woman. But I always say, women, it's your responsibility to guard your womb. Only you are responsible for your womb, because I highly doubt there is a rampage of 80% of men who are out here sleeping with a bunch of, I mean, not sleeping with, I'm sorry, because there are, but raping a bunch of women. I probably just said the R word. I don't know if they're gonna flag me for that. Nevertheless, who are taking advantage of women physically with force. Follow me. So I'm sure that's not what is happening at such a large scale to where women have the opportunity to say that all men are this or that, and it's not my responsibility that I slept with this person and now I'm all extra enthralled with them, infatuated with them, to where I can't think straight, and now I'm stalking this person and acting a fool and slashing his tires and keeping babies from him and all these different things, right? Um I keep losing my train of thought. But men also need to be very, very, very careful about who it is that you're choosing to share yourself with. Yes, as women, we have wombs and we have to guard our wombs and have to be very careful with who we choose to share our wombs with. But at the same time, men, you guys have to be almost more careful, because when you sleep with someone, sleeping with someone is you saying, I might want to get this woman pregnant, because that's what intercourse is for, right? It is for procreation, it's not for anything else. You can say it's for fun, you can say I'm just doing this because I like the way they look, I like what they do, I like how they dance, I like how they dress, I like how much money they have, I like how big her butt is, I like whatever it is that you're claiming to like in this person. It's not a strong enough argument for you to sleep with this woman. And you sleep with these women, and now you're dealing with you get her pregnant, and now you're dealing with this crazy person who's either keeping the child from you, who's lying about paternity, or you said you wanted to keep the child and she chose to end the pregnancy against your wishes, against your will. She's a nag. She's problematic. She's always in trouble. She's always fighting. She's always trying to get you into a fight. She doesn't respect you. She doesn't respect herself. And you have now given yourself over to this woman, and there is nothing that she can do for you. All she is doing is bringing you destruction and stress and trauma. We always focus on the trauma that men exact on women, but we don't even come close to taking the time to explore how much hurt that a lot of women are doing to men. I mean, you guys have to be so much more careful. All the men in my life, my nephew, brother, father, random people that I know via social media, I tell you guys all the time, like, just because society says that it's okay to sleep around and men can do it, right? That doesn't make it true. Because if we go to Proverbs, is it 7? Proverbs 7, it talks about the wayward woman. It was a whole story that this father was telling to his sons about avoiding a certain type of woman. This woman was married. Her husband was out of town. He went on a long journey, right? They talked about him taking his coin purse with him. So he took all his money because he was going on a long journey and he wasn't going to be back until the next full moon, which meant he probably wasn't going to be back for a whole month. She went traipsing up the street dressed like a prostitute, attracting this man, right? Told him a bunch of sweet nothings. Oh, come on, let's drink with love and just love all night until the morning and this and just all kind of stuff, right? Got his head all wrapped up and messed up. And then he goes, death and destruction. That type of woman is always going to lure you to destruction. If this woman can't cover herself when she goes out in public, if this woman can't be honest If every time she opens her mouth foolishness comes out, if she sounds, look, walks, talks like a ratchet, then she's a ratchet. It doesn't matter what other man, because men, you guys have a serious issue with, it's not bad all the time, it's not always a negative, but you guys have this thing with wanting to conquer, right? Men are conquerors. Since the dawn of time, men have come and men have conquered, right? But you have to be very careful with the type of woman that you are trying to conquer. Just because other men like her, just because, like, let me use Lori Harvey for example, right? She's a pretty girl, but look how she's choosing to live her life. And I'm not trying to cast judgment on her, but I am judging the situation. And the situation says, well, I mean, even with the whole Michael B. Jordan thing, with he asked her to marry and she didn't want to get married, she was still living her life, right? But how many men has she chosen to entertain? And now you have men, because it's Lori Harvey, because she's pretty, because, she wouldn't be a gold digger because she has her own, her father has a lot. I don't know what she has for herself. I don't follow her life like that. So I'm not sure what she does on her own. But most men know that she wouldn't want them for their money solely. But all these men are trying to get to her because they want to be the next one to conquer her. But what is she bringing to the table? What does she have in her life that men just abandon all reason and logic and say, well, I want to sleep with her because it's Lori Harvey, right? Is she worth it? Does she even want to be conquered? Does she want to be somebody's wife? It doesn't seem to be, because apparently not, because she turned someone down. Now, regardless of what that has to say about him, is neither here nor there for me, because I do not know these people. However, I'm using her as an example because a lot of times when I see her picture come across the screen, a lot of men are always saying, how beautiful she is and all these things, and they would want to see what she do. Um, but that's not what you men are called to do. If you are saying that you want all these great qualities in a woman, but just like women, a lot of you guys are getting caught up with these trollops who just want to use you. They just are sleeping with you, or a lot of them are trying to trap you with a baby. Half the time, y'all don't even know if the child is yours or not. You know what I mean? So you have to be very wary about that. So when you're looking for this woman, if you want to attract that kind of woman, just like a woman has to be a wife prior to a man coming and saying, I want you to be my wife, you have to be a husband prior to you approaching a woman and saying to her, I want you to be my wife. It says, husbands, you are called to love and respect your wives as well. In Colossians 3:19, it says, husbands, love your wives and do not be harsh with them. This does not mean don't be stern, don't be direct. It just means that you don't belittle her, don't degrade her, don't cut her with your words, don't treat her like a stranger on the street, essentially. Because the more you, even if you do have a woman who's, let me use the term or the phrase mediocre in spirit. And what I mean by that is, on the face, she's a good woman, right? She's a good woman on paper. I'll say about myself, a few years ago, even up till probably recently of a year, I was a good woman on paper, right? I wasn't in the streets, didn't have any outside kids, never been in jail, never did drugs, got a college degree, blah, 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 right? But I wasn't walking in wisdom. Even though I have had a lot of good qualities about myself, I still don't feel in retrospect that I could have called myself a wife, because I didn't have all the tools that I needed according to Proverbs that would make me so. I was still of the world in a sense, and making a lot of excuses and justifications for why I did a lot of things, not calling things what they were, not calling it pride, not calling it egotism, not calling it stubbornness, not calling it foolishness. I was coming up with different reasons or different phrases and words to rename my actions because I didn't have the fortitude to judge myself properly. But nevertheless, men, you have to set yourself up to be husbands. before you even set yourself out into the world to kind of see what kind of woman you can attract. So, how do you be a good husband? You have to be honorable. You have to fear the Most High. You have to be honest and trustworthy. You have to have wisdom. Above all, men have to have wisdom because you're supposed to be the head right under the Most High. Your job is to lead the woman, right? So if you have this wayward woman walking up to you and she's trying to woo you with her words and she's got a dress on or pants and she's showing herself off, right? And she's trying to lure you with her physicality and you get caught up and then she's telling you all kind of sweet nothings. You have to have enough wisdom in you to say, I'm not trying to sleep with you right now. I need to see what you're talking about. I need to see where your mind is. I need to see where your spirit is, what's in your heart before we even walk down that road. Because you are going to be playing yourself if you don't take the proper time to vet the woman before you engage in intercourse with her, before you give her your seed, right? There's a whole other video I said I was going to do, and I might just talk to y'all about it now. Men, you have to be careful where you plant your seed. So if there's a whole parable of the sower, some of you are probably familiar with it. It was talking about when you cast your seeds out, how some seeds may fall on good ground, some, on fertile ground, some seeds may not. Some seeds may be in the middle where they could take up root, but then, the stones or whatever comes up or the thickets come up and chokes them, and so they can't really grow into their fullness. Y'all can't just be out here planting your seed wherever you so choose, right? You cannot do that. You have to be very careful in who you choose to plant your seed in. And regardless of the fact if this woman is on any type of birth control, that does not matter. That is irrelevant. Because even though you have some women who claim they can sleep around and not have any feelings attached, that's not true. Most women are going to get in their feelings when they have slept with someone. That's just the way we're wired. Because you are sharing yourself with that other person. You are taking the two shall become one. That is literal, actual, factual things. There were 2 studies done. One that I read a few months back. I did a live with Blanche about it. I don't even know where it is now, nevertheless. It stated that once a woman sleeps with a man and he has given her his seed from the semen, that stays locked in her bones forever, even unto death. She will have his DNA in her bones forever. There was another study, which I did not read, but I read about today, and it was saying that the woman houses the male's DNA in her brain. And then there was other studies that was saying it's not just from intercourse, it comes from pregnancy. But in Genesis 2, yes, in Genesis 2, it was talking about the creation of man and how the Most High took the woman from the man's rib. And it said, now the two shall become one. Wait, Adam said, yeah, I took some notes. Adam said that she was going to be bone of his bone and flesh of his flesh, which, as I stated, is biologically accurate. Because from these studies, once you join and merge together with another person, you are one. And now that woman is a part of you, or you are a part of that woman, shall I say, forever. But on a spiritual level, she is also a part of you, including all the people she slept with, and all the people they slept with, and all the people they slept with. It's a multitude. Okay? So don't get yourself caught up where you have now joined together spiritually and physiologically with someone who is unworthy to take that step to be your wife. I have talked to so many different women, and not so much men, but I've heard men say things. I just haven't talked to them directly. But women who will sleep with a man but doesn't feel that he is worthy enough for him to be her boyfriend or her husband. But she'll sleep with him unprotected but she doesn't feel that he's worthy enough to be in a committed relationship with, which is absurd to me. How can you choose to sleep with someone, give them your womb, give them access to your body, give them access to your spirit, give them access to all things, but you don't find them worthy enough to be their wife or for them to be your husband? Hey, how we doing? Um, so it just really perplexes me when people enter into that sort of agreement, not ever really knowing each other well enough to realize, hey, we are joining together. We are becoming one. You are me, I am you. We have shared souls, we all these things. It is that serious. And I say it all the time. It is that serious. It is not a simple transaction. It's never a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. And some men can probably attest to the fact that you thought you was sleeping with this woman one time. You thought you was getting something quick, easy, and done, and then she's showing up at your house the next day or at your job, trying to figure out where you are and why haven't you called. And then you think, oh man, this woman is crazy, but you have to have the strength, the testicular fortitude to tell her, no, I'm not going to go there with you. I don't know you, or I don't like what you're about, or whatever. Yeah, like, yeah, you look good, but we're not going there. It's okay for men to say, I'm not ready yet, because a lot of y'all not ready. Because a lot of these women come in strong. I see it. I know I don't know what you guys are going through, but I see what you guys are going through. And it is crazy out here. I really feel sorry for a lot of guys because most of you have been conditioned to think that you can go in and out and it's not a problem and you don't have to have any ties and you don't have to have any commitments. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of these women are not going to let you go that easily. It is not that simple. You are also very much responsible for what happens going forward. So just like women can't blame men for being deadbeats and all these things, men can't blame women for being horrible baby mamas and being liars and cheaters. Men, y'all have to be careful too. So I wrote, men, you need to find a woman that you literally want to share yourself with. When you sleep with someone, that is exactly what you're doing. You are sharing yourself with that person unequivocally. There's no other way around it. We can try to splice it different ways and call it something else. Facts are facts. Okay. Where am I? Yeah. Wayward women. I'm just gonna go there. What kind of woman have you really tried to attract? Are you guys giving your time, your money, your emotions to women who you know don't want the best for you? Is this woman asking you what you plan on doing in your life, what your plans are, what are your goals, what are your ambitions, what are your dreams, what's your purpose, what's your life's mission? Is she asking you any of these things? What are hers? Does she have an answer for that? Because if you meet a woman and you guys go on a date and the only thing on both of your minds is what's going to happen after the date, hang it up, go home, pay the check, and flee. Because neither one of you are ready for that. And it's too many of us out here in this world, men and women alike, who are getting into any kind of relationship, whether it be marriages, committed relationships, flings, quickies, whatever it is, not even knowing the other person that you're sharing yourself with. And society has, I said this before, society has us so jacked up to where we think that it's such a casual thing and it doesn't matter and we're not responsible and it's a one off, it's no big deal. Everybody's doing it. I got attacked so harshly a couple weeks ago because I said, if you don't want these problems, then just don't have sex. I was attacked by men and women, called a pygmeisha. Men said I was being unrealistic because you guys really think that I should sleep with them no matter what. And Blanche did a video earlier, and he was, well, I watched it earlier. He didn't do it earlier. I think it might have been either yesterday. But he made the comment about, I hate when my brain does that. He made a few comments, but I forgot. I forgot where I was going with that. I hate that. Nevertheless, you have to be sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. You have to be sure that you are taking the proper time. You cannot just go off into life doing whatever it is you want to do and then getting upset that there are consequences. There's consequences for everything. Avoid these wayward women. Avoid them at all costs. If y'all live in Houston, I know most of y'all heard of, have been to the turkey leg hut. I was at my aunt's house one weekend, and my God, I know they have new policies now where women can't go over there looking like that, but my God, the type of women that was traipsing up and down the street because they had to pass my aunt's house to go up the corner and around to get to turkey leg hut. So I saw abstinence. Yes, thank you. So let me circle back to that. Thank you, King. Um, and they were just dressed so utterly provocatively, right? And then there was this guy that came around and made a comment at some of them. They were so offended that some man saw them, because if you dress like that, you wanted attention in the first place. So you got what you were looking for. You half naked, your boobs falling out. I can see your butt cheeks. And y'all are going to a restaurant trying to see who you can see and letting them see you, and then want to act appalled when you get prostitute level attention. But let me go back to my main point because I lost it. If you're talking about abstinence, and right, that's what I was saying. A lot of people think that abstaining from sex puts them in some weird lowly category where they aren't real humans and it's unrealistic and it's an impossible task. Nobody can do it. If you even suggest such a thing, then it's ridiculous. It's absurd. You're childish. All these crazy things. And the point of it all is, as I stated before, intercourse is for procreation, period. It isn't for anything else. So if you can't abstain, then you have to ask yourself some serious questions about what it is that I'm doing in my life, or what is it that I believe, or what is it that I was made to believe that has me feeling like if I'm not sleeping with someone, then I'm living life wrong. I'm doing this whole dating thing wrong, and I need to, yes, he was bringing up testing the waters, living life, having life experiences that will help you determine if this is the person that you'd want to be with. Dip your toe in the water before marriage to see, or if it's worth it. And I see so many comments from men and women who make these statements regarding, well, it would be horrible if we got married and the sex was bad. But here's the thing about it. If you're going into a marriage and you're afraid that that's going to be bad, then you need not get married to that person, because that means your spiritual and emotional connection is not strong enough to even make that experience pleasurable for you. Hey, girl. Um, and yet people just do it willy-nilly, throwing caution to the wind, and then surprised when they get nothing but death and destruction. Abstinence is not a bad word. A long time ago, I used to say things like abstinence only education was detrimental because it's unrealistic, because people don't really adhere to that, or people don't really resonate with that in a way to where is something that would happen because, right, you're gonna do it. If you like somebody, you're gonna do it, and it's okay, and you just whatever. And then if it's wrong or if it don't work out, then I'll repent and act like, well, that wasn't that bad, and it was just this one person. And but the fact of the matter is, if this person is not your spouse, you set yourself up for the disease, unwanted pregnancy, for some psychopath stalker, somebody who might kill you. There's such an array. There is such an array of things that can happen when you choose to sleep with someone who is not your spouse. Now, they could have a spouse and you don't know about it, and you can clearly, I mean, not clearly, but you can claim, well, they lied to me. I didn't know they were married. But were they married to you? Because that's the only thing that really makes a difference. If they're not married to you, then they're not yours to have. Because of course people lie. Assume people are going to lie. Assume that people are going to try to deceive you just so they can get the one thing that they want from you. And if someone is only wanting that one thing from you, then they're not worth your time. If you're sitting across the table from someone, which is why I think dinner dates or the first date going to dinner is stupid. If you are taking a woman out on a date and you are sitting across the table from her and you think she's gorgeous, but everything she's talking about, you're barely hearing her in the first place. She's not making a whole lot of sense. She seems problematic. She seems like she's bringing nothing but trauma and drama to your life. If she's always complaining about something or someone, if she doesn't take responsibility, ask hard questions. Avoid that woman. If she cannot answer your questions, then you do not need to proceed with anything. Pay the check and bounce. Get her Uber and send her home. Because I am probably at my point of seeing men make videos or posts about these women who are ruining y'all's lives. That's on you. You're the man. If the man is supposed to be, if as a husband you're supposed to be the head of the household, you're supposed to provide, protect, all these things, lead, then you have to do that when you're not in a real marriage. You have to be a husband first. And if a husband leads, protects, and provides, then you have to do that out in these crazy streets too. You have to make sure that the way that you're choosing to live your life is going to lead a woman not into mutual destruction, but lead her into righteousness. Lead her into a life where she feels like she's safe with you and she doesn't have to sleep with you to get you to hear her or see her or love her or commit to her, right? Because you're going to be displaying things about yourself that allows her to see that this spiritual connection that you're trying to have with her is more important than the physical one. The physical one will follow and it'll be grand once you guys understand who each other are. Because somebody made a comment about touching and agreeing, and we always say that about prayer, let's touch and agree. But if you are touching intimately someone else, you are in agreement that we are about to become one. Whatever it is that you have going on with you, I am taking that upon myself. Your problems are my problems. Your wins and your losses are my wins and my losses. Nothing else matters. And you may not be actually saying that out of your mouth, but just sleeping with someone, that's exactly what you're doing. You are both submitting to each other's will. What is this woman's will for her life? Does it align with you? I was telling an employee today, are you having the conversations that are necessary? If you're sleeping with your partner, are you having the conversations necessary to determine if you guys are on the same page? If a baby comes into the picture, and I know I keep focusing on that, but that's what comes from sex. If a baby comes into the picture, do we have a plan? Because if y'all choosing to sleep with these women, y'all need to have a plan on paper. And if you don't agree, y'all don't need to be sleeping with each other. If y'all can't agree on how we're going to raise this child religiously, what schools we want them to go to, what do we believe in, what's my worldviews, what are my non-negotiables, what are my boundaries, how are we going to discipline, what language is safe to use in the house, who's working where, who's doing what, what's your role as a husband, what's my role as a wife, what's your role as a father, what's my role as a mother, and we agree on that. If y'all can't agree, don't do it. It's your job to lead, men. It is you guys' job to lead. You have to lead the conversation, and you have to lead everything else subsequent of that. If the woman is not in alignment with what you are wanting to do and how you're wanting to live, then why are you choosing to sleep with her? Do not let this world mess you up in a way to where you have forgotten your role and you aren't doing what's necessary to secure your future. Because everybody's fussing with each other right now. Men are complaining about women, women are complaining about men. I don't think anybody's hearing each other. Women always crying about they don't know what men want. I asked men, they told me it's not BBLs, it's not fake lashes, it's not fake nails, it's not fake boobs, it's not fake lips, it's not somebody who can love them down real good. It's not any of those things. So most of the stuff that a lot of women are out in the world doing, going outside half naked, being all loud and ridiculous in public, twerking on tabletops, dang near naked when they out in public. I probably said that already. If that's what you see, that's what you need to veer from. That's not who you want. Don't let that mess you up. Women got real confused. What do men want? Men don't know what they want. Men know what they want. Y'all know what you want. But your behavior and your actions is contradictory to what you've all said you wanted. Even in a lot of the comments that I see in here on YouTube from different videos, you guys say you want good women. You say you want a woman who has her head on straight. You say you want a woman who doesn't act. You say you want a woman who's about her business. You say you want a woman who supports you. You say you want a woman who's honest and honorable and has great character and has wisdom and all these other amazing things that a Proverbs 31 woman is supposed to have. But you are giving your time to wayward women. And then you're complaining about the ratchets that has wasted your time. You can't complain about a type of woman that you have chosen to give your time and money to because that's what you chose to do with your time. Don't be double-minded. If y'all say this is what you want, spiritual transcendence and all, if you say that's what you desire in a woman, in a wife, then that's who you need to give your attention to. And if you're not finding her, you need to be steadfast. Because that's another thing. The Bible talks about how a man is supposed to be. A man is supposed to fear the Most High. He's supposed to be patient. He's supposed to be kind. He's supposed to be steadfast. And he's supposed to have love. And a good woman loves and respects his wife. He's not harsh with her. He doesn't treat her poorly. If you're out here and y'all treating women crazy and like second class citizens or like children and talking down at them instead of talking to them, I know some women are very difficult, but if you're talking down at a woman, talking at a woman instead of to her, you're not going to get the results that you are desiring to get from her. You're not going to get a woman who's going to hold you down and support you and help you build up your dreams. She's not going to stick around. If she does stick around, she's going to be a shell of a woman. She's not going to be the type of person that you claim you want or that you really need to help you build whatever it is that you're wanting to build, or even helping you be the type of man that you need to be, because a woman, a good woman, comes with wisdom. She has wisdom on her lips. Good things flow from her mouth. A husband, he is respected at the gates when he sits with the elders. They know him. So if you can go and sit at the gates with the elders and they know you, that means you are a man of great character. You are a man who knows what he wants. You are steadfast. You're honorable. You keep your word. A man is nothing without his word. The good women, that's who they're looking for. And if this is the kind of woman that you guys say you want, then you have to be the kind of man that's going to attract her. Y'all cannot be walking around the streets. Just like women don't need to be out in bonnets in public, y'all don't need to be out in the streets with slides on, sweatpants on below your butt, or any pants on below your butt, with these white tees, your boxes hanging out, you look dusty, you're all in the wrong places, y'all are loud, you can't start a good conversation, y'all lead with physical compliments. There are some women who are like me, who don't like physical compliments. If you're always telling me how I look, oh, you're so sexy, oh, you look, oh, I see you filling out. That is the biggest turn off for me. That is the biggest turn off. I cannot stand that. And a lot of women don't like it either. So when you say stuff like that and you're met with an attitude, don't be surprised, because some women don't like that. Now, if she's dressed a certain way, real, you know what I'm saying? Real loose, real provocatively, I'm not saying that she's welcoming that, but I'm saying that kind of woman can't really be too upset about the kind of comments she's getting if she's dressed like that's the kind of attention she wants. But if you're coming up to a woman who's fully clothed and all you can say is, "Oh, you man, you fine. You're not getting anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere with that woman." And you cannot be mad at nobody but yourself. You need to come correct. If y'all want to find a wife, be a husband first. Y'all don't need to be out in these streets. Y'all don't need to be watching porn. Y'all don't need to be having subscriptions to OnlyFans. Y'all don't need to be walking out the house looking like Who Shot Johnny. Y'all don't need to be out here drinking and partying every single weekend, spending $400 on drinks, or at the strip club. Your wife is not in a strip club. She is not there. And for those of y'all who are wifing women in the strip club, it's foolish, because if this woman turns out to be exactly what the stereotype of women who work in those places are, then you can't be mad at nobody but yourself. Oh, she was super nice to me. We had great conversation, and she's so sweet. And of course she is. Chelsea's going to be super nice to you and smile at you and tell you you're amazing and all these other things just to swindle you out of your money. Just like the woman in Proverbs 7, that wayward woman who coming out her house at night, dressed like a prostitute, trying to trick you to going into her house because her husband away and she bored. So now she needs some company. And you done got caught up with this woman. You slept with her. She done turned your head out because she got a lot of life experience. And now you don't know how to act. And you don't know what to do. And now you're showing up at her house acting a fool. Not knowing up from down, left or right. She got you turned 11 ways from Sunday. And you blame her. Why did you follow that woman into her house? Why did you go there? What made you think you were different? I tell a lot of women, like, just because you sleep with a man don't mean he gonna change. It don't mean that's gonna get him to swoop you up. Your box isn't better than the next woman's. Because men who will sleep with you that easy will sleep with other women that easily. And a lot of y'all, if y'all have had multiple partners, it doesn't even matter. Y'all don't have the right type of attachments for you to connect with a woman in a real way. Because if you're sleeping around, it becomes a thing for you. And you're going to continue to get the same things you've always gotten, which is death and destruction, drama and trauma. It's just is upsetting. So, men, be more cautious. Be the man, be the head, be the leader. Take control of your life. A lot of you guys who are in fraternities, everybody quotes that same poem, I'm the master of my fate, I'm the captain of my soul. If you really believe that to be true, whether you're in a fraternity or not, and you've heard of it and you said, yeah, I am, but you're not acting accordingly to that, then it's a lie and it's contrary and you're double-minded and it's not real. If you're going to be the master of your fate, the captain of your soul, then where are you leading yourself? What have you allowed yourself to be submitted to? Have you submitted to the world? To Satan's tricks? Buffoonery? What is enticing you? What part of you isn't strong enough to avoid these kind of women? What justifications have you made to yourself to say I can just sleep with her, it's no big deal. I'm gonna just smash real quick. I told her I didn't want a relationship. I've been telling these women I don't want relationships, but they sleep with me anyway, so it's whatever. It's not whatever. This is your life. And you just spreading your seed all around. And then y'all on the internet mad, calling all other women out of their name because you let yourself get played. Just like women don't need to let y'all in and out all willy-nilly, y'all don't need to be in and out all willy-nilly. I'm not going to be on here much longer because I feel like I've said everything that I need to say. There is just a growing epidemic of men and women of all races. So that's why I'm not really focused on one particular race, of all races, who have convinced themselves that life is what it is, in the sense of it being, I can sleep with whomever and that's it. It's whatever I say it is. But a lot of you guys are lying to yourselves. And this has caused such a disconnect between us. Our balance is off. All of us have been acting out of order. And then there's so much advice from so many different people. And they say things like, oh, women, if you want to attract this man, this is what you have to do, and try these 7 things, and blah, blah, blah. And how do you know if a man wants you? He's going to do these things, blah, blah, blah. And if you want women, y'all need to pursue men, and y'all need to, and men, you need to stop listening to that foolishness, because that's all it is. Is everybody got the keys to the kingdom. Everybody knows the right thing to do. Everybody knows how to get you with the person you want to be with, but all of it sounds like fluff, foolery, and witchcraft. Manifest the man of your dreams and write it down and burn it up and put it in the moon and put a crystal around it and wrap it and stick it in your bra and put it in the hat. Like, it is insane. And we're looking at all this information, all this advice that is destructive. It's counterproductive. It's counterintuitive. No one has taken the proper time to see, okay, has this worked with anybody else? How functional is this? Is this like self-sustaining? If I were to take these steps, is it self-sustaining? Is this something that's going to carry me through and get me to my end goal? How can you attract the man? How can you attract the woman? A woman should be this and a woman should be that. If there's another man in your life, men, who are telling you, and it's not these things that I've stated, oh, make sure you get your woman who can cook. Get you a woman who can. Is cooking important? Sure, you need to learn how to cook. People got to eat. Fast food is the devil and it make you sick. Um, that's not sustaining. Get you a nice looking woman. You know, them ugly, or get you a woman that don't look that good. You know, the ugly girls take care of you. Like they tell us, oh, get you a man that don't look that good. You know, them ugly men, they treat you real good. That ain't true. People are people. People are who they are. It don't matter if they tall, short, fat, skinny, ugly, attractive, and ugly and attractive is subjective. Oh, get you a man with some money, girl. Oh, get you a woman who got her own stuff. Get you a woman who is in alignment with your goals, your mission, your purpose, who is here to support you, who will honor you and respect you, who will listen to you, who believes in what you're doing. If she doesn't, then she's not the one for you. And that's okay, because you should want her in your life anyway. And I'm not saying that this makes her a bad woman, but it makes her not the woman for you. Just like you're not for everybody. Ever since I was really young, I kept dealing with, I've always attracted much older men. I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure that out. And I used to always hear, "Oh, how old are you?" And I would tell them my actual age. "Oh, you jailbait. You know." It's like, I'm not jail. My response would most times always be, "I'm not jailbait because I'm not attracted to you. So in order for me to be jailbait, I would have to be interested in you for us to get into something that will cause me to be jailbait." So, and then of course they would get upset. But the fact of the matter is, just because you're attracted to me doesn't mean that I'm attracted to you. And y'all have to really take it easy with how you come at a lot of women, because some of y'all come overly aggressive and you assume, because whatever traits you have, whatever trait that the world told you was important, and you have those things, whether it be money. A good woman don't care about what money you have, especially if she's aware of what's going on in the world. The dollar ain't worth a quarter. So all this money you talk, oh, I got money, I can do this, I can do that. Can you chop a tree? Can you fasten some pipes together? Do you know how to build a tent? You know how to make a tourniquet? Because when we get off in the wilderness, money is not going to matter. Money is not going to make a difference. It is inconsequential. Stop leading with your pocketbook. It's irrelevant. Well, in this day and age, you need money to survive. Yeah, sure, absolutely. However, look where we're going. If you took money off the table, what else do you have to offer a woman in order for you to say that I'm worthy of a wife? What else do you have to offer a woman? Are you honest, thoughtful, considerate, caring, loyal, trustworthy, dependable, faithful? Are you a man with a plan? Do you have morals? What are your goals? What do you want out of life? Do you still blame other people for your shortcomings? Are there resentment and things that you hold for someone else that you have yet to resolve? Are you still blaming somebody else for not doing something for you? Because a lot of people have that problem. Men and women are like, oh, this person said they was going to help me and they never did. And I've been waiting around and people always standing in my way and nobody trying to help me. But let me change this. That doesn't matter. You're a man. You're the man, right? You're the man. And anything that happens in your life is your responsibility. What do you bring to the table? Because we ask women that all the time. I did a whole video about it. It's on YouTube. It's entitled I Am the Table, but I feel like I should have put a question mark there. I'm not sure if I did. Because I was talking about women who always say, I am the table. But some of these women not even folding tables. And some of you men not even folding tables. If I go and try to play dominoes on you right now, you're going to fold and buckle. What are you guys bringing? What can you do to be a leader, to be a provider and a protector? What are you doing? How do you contribute to the growth and the progress of the household? When you speak to a woman, what are the words you're choosing to use? Are you putting yourself in the company of women that you would deem qualifiable to marry? Or are you at the turkey leg cut in the club? Because a good woman is not in there. She's not in there. You're not going to find her at any one of these establishments. So hang that thought process up. What is happening to where we can't come together in a cohesive way to where we can hear each other? And I feel like men, a lot of you guys are saying to women what they need to have or what you guys are looking for. And I know a lot of them are not listening. I know. But there are good women out there who are listening. And I know nowadays it's really hard to find somebody. There aren't very many available people. I made a comment one time. I feel like a lot of the good men and women are in the house. Like most people are not out and about at the coffee shops and all it. A lot of people are staying home. So you maybe the internet might be your friend in a sense. I know there's a lot of catfishing going on, a lot of filters, a lot of fakeness, or people post fake lives and they lie all the time and they're misrepresenting themselves. But that's why you have to take the time to have conversations. I feel like conversations are not being had, especially in a real sense of where there's anyone getting an understanding, except for wisdom is the principal thing. And in all things, get wisdom. And in all thy getting, get an understanding. Get an understanding of the person that you are dealing with. Get an understanding of the person that you are choosing to spend your time with. Get an understanding of this woman that you have just invited on a date. The first date should not be in a restaurant. I once again did a video about this. It's called Take a Hike. Take a hike. Take a hike. Go outside somewhere. Go fishing. You know, fishing, you got to be ultra patient whilst fishing. It's not something where you cast the line and next thing you know, you reeling it in 5 minutes. You might be lucky like that, but that's a one off. Most times you're out there for hours. You sit out there all day, just sitting at the bridge or wherever, just waiting on the fish to be lured in enough to take the bait so we can reel them in. What bait are you dangling, men? Y'all need to stop leading with your penises. Y'all need to stop leading with your pocketbooks. Lead with your character. If you're concerned about a woman saying you're corny, forget about her. She ain't the one for you. If you're being honorable and respectful and you're not coming at her sideways and telling her all kind of foolishness and she don't like that, then she a fool. Don't deal with a foolish woman. Leave her where she stands. Talk like y'all got some sense. So many times I meet men who can't even have a decent conversation. Can't put two sentences together, and it's so disappointing. But we're supposed to be attracted to that? That's why I've just resolved to stay by myself. It's tiresome. A lot of women are tired from being accosted by men who can't even put two sentences together. We don't know what you're saying. Oftentimes, because I talk to a lot of different people. I have a retail store, so I talk to a lot of different people all the time, and a lot of men across racial lines can't hold good conversation. And I get that there's a lot of women that's not even requiring that of you guys. A lot of you aren't even being required to come with meaningful conversation. Y'all can tell them whatever. A goose flew up the tree, and they just because they're like, what car you drive? Are they looking at your shoes? Or they think you working with something, which is the most absurd thing? Or they just like the way you look? Or they like the fact that other women are looking at you? Because that's a lot. A lot of women only talk to men because another woman wants them. A lot. And y'all should know that to be true because you got more dudes. Well, excuse me. You got more women who have a baby by a man or in a relationship with a man who has a baby with or in a relationship with another woman or women. So a lot of women are going for men that other women already have or want. If you gotta put on a fake wedding band to attract a woman, why do you want a woman who's willing to commit adultery? If you gotta wine and dine a woman and take her to the best restaurant and spend all kind of money on her in hopes that she'll sleep with you, why are you trying to enter into prostitution? Because now you're just tricking. And I got words for her too, but I'm talking to y'all right now. Why do you want to enter an agreement with a woman like that? Come correct. It is up to you to be the leader in all situations. Y'all can put a stop to all of this paternity fraud and child support foolishness and women keeping your children from you. Y'all can put a stop to all of this if you just simply hold the line. Hold the line. Do not sleep with this woman. If she's not your wife, don't do it. Don't even entertain her. Do not entertain conversation. Because just like somebody made the comment that all it takes for a woman to let it go is just for a man to say a few clever things. And it is that simple for some women, but it's that simple for a lot of you dudes too. It is that simple. Y'all hardly require anything. Anything. Most of the time, the woman doesn't even need to be attractive. And y'all are willing to let it go. What are we doing out here? All this foolishness and confusion that's going on with us, we're doing it to ourselves. Women, we're doing it to ourselves. Men, you're doing it to yourselves. Y'all can put a stop to all of this. Get to know these people first. Just because you're a man and you can't get pregnant doesn't mean that it's okay for you to go and just live life haphazardly, sleeping with and entertaining whomever you so choose to and please or choose to please. It's it's destructive because you're gonna have to answer for that at some point. You're gonna have to answer to either that woman, your creator, her husband, whomever, of why all this stuff happened. Why is the situation the way that it is? Although I feel like a lot of stuff, women have to guard their wombs and they're responsible. I say that more times than not. But I am coming to understand that if y'all just put y'all's feet down, because it's not like y'all are out here exploiting women, you get what I mean? Taking by force. If y'all aren't out here taking intimacy by force, then you can just say no. And most of y'all are not taking it by force. Most of y'all are not taking it by force. So you are responsible. If this woman is not married, she got kids, and she wasn't married to those children's father, or she got or in the adverse, she's got multiple kids with multiple different fathers. Because I'm not saying all women who have kids, and I'm not trying to put all of them in a bad light. But if that's the case, if she talks as if she doesn't value herself, her body, her own mind, her own spirit, if she seems like she's always trying to entice you into something that you know isn't good for you, if she talks down on your dreams, if you're a 50-year-old wannabe rapper, I don't support you either. But but don't be like 40%. But if you have real dreams, real goals, and she tells you they're stupid, maybe she idolizes these women who go off with these rappers and entertainers who are probably the worst people to ever want to enter a relationship with. Because most times when I see women comparing men to other men, it's always men who are in the entertainment industry. And that's whether they play athletics or if they sing or rap. I feel like they're all in entertainment. But women look to them as a beacon to say, well, look what men are doing. This is what men are doing. And they make sweeping generalizations to make it seem like it's all of you. And I know it's not all of you. All of you aren't out looking for a certain type of woman. All of you aren't out dipping and diving and everything that's moving and paying women hush money or sleeping with a bunch of different women just because you can. Or whatever the case may be, whatever the comparisons are, most of you all aren't doing that. But a lot of you are acting irresponsibly with your own body and not coming to terms with how your behavior and your actions has a bearing on the outcome of your life. I say all the time, life is a culmination of the choices and decisions that we make. So it's nobody else's fault but your own. Men can't blame women. Women can't blame men. Look to the scriptures. If she doesn't match out, she's not hardworking and her children speak well of her when she has children, if she's not putting her hand to the plow, if she's not speaking wisdom when she opens her mouth, if she's not kind and gentle and patient and loving and considerate and honorable and reliable and dependable and all these things that I said you guys need to be, because you are trying to find your equal. So if you have to be that, she has to be that. If she doesn't care about her health and she's pre-diabetic and she don't work out, but she always wearing a waist trainer that's lazy, if she eats all manner of trash and junk, if she watches horrible things, listens to destructive music, calls herself the B word, any of those things, avoid that kind of woman. Avoid the kind of woman that acts like that. Avoid the kind of woman who doesn't take any accountability. If everything is always somebody else's fault, avoid her. If every time you talk to her, she got problems, avoid her. You are not there to be her savior. You are not there to save her. No one human can save another human. We have been so conditioned to think that we have this power over other humans and we can save them from themselves. I used to be one of those people who was so egotistical and prideful that I thought that I can change or shape a man into a good human when I myself had my own struggles that I wasn't even aware of at the time. Dealing with things that I didn't even know I was dealing with. Right? But I'm just so great that I can save, rehabilitate, whatever, find the potential in these men. Y'all can't do it either. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. whether she's that or not, but you can't turn someone who's not a wife into a wife. She has to be a wife when you meet her. You have to be a husband when you meet her. If finding a wife is a good thing, then why do you entertain women who aren't good? Why are you entertaining women who don't even know who they are? Why are you entertaining women who live life haphazardly? Why are you entertaining women who don't take any accountability? Why are you entertaining women who are irresponsible, who aren't honest with themselves, who want you for your money? What's up, Isaiah? You catching me on the end? I'm about to sign out. But be more careful in who you choose as your mate, as your spouse. Stop giving your time, your resources, your energy to wayward women. She will be the death of you. She will most certainly, unequivocally be the death of you. We always tell women, oh, be careful, men. Men are crazy. Men do this. Men kill you. Yes, men can kill you, but they got some women killers out here too. I done seen so many headlines of women shooting men and killing them dead, running them over in the streets, all kind of stuff. All because the man in their life didn't want them, or he wanted somebody else, or they found out he was sleeping with somebody else. But this wasn't even your husband, and he probably told you that he didn't want to be with you in the first place and gave you the whole rundown and the whole spiel, and you fell for it anyway because you just thought. So y'all need to stop playing these games with these women. Stop playing the games. Because whatever you do will come back to you. Maybe not in the same form that you dished it out, but it will come back to you. And it will come back to you very destructively. And you're going to have to take account for that. And you're not going to be able to blame her. Because you should have known what you were dealing with prior to being intimate with her. Once again, the man is the lead. You have to take the lead. You have to be stern and firm. Not degrading, not condescending, not patronizing, but firm. Put some bass in your voice. Be the man. We have a huge lack of masculine men in our society. You got men who want to be women, men who just want to be prissy, men who want to walk around in Chelsea boots all day. Something go wrong in the house, don't count on them for it. They got to call somebody. You got to call another man to come and fix it. Some things need somebody else to come. Sometimes you need a structural engineer. Sometimes you need a serious plumber. But if the light bulb needs to be changed, or the breaker box then trip the switch, or you got a minor leak in the kitchen, and you got to call somebody else to do it, that's problematic. For a real woman, a good woman, she want to see you do that. If I have a problem, can we put our thinking caps on together? Can we put our wisdom together and come up with a viable solution? Can I trust you to lead me where I need you to lead me? Jill Scott said something in one of her songs, and my homegirl just reminded me of it. If you can tell me what to do, then you can tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, then you can't tell me what to do. If you can lead me properly, not into mutual destruction, but if you can lead me and you give me sound advice, and if I'm going off in the wrong direction, you can pull my coats and say, whoa, baby girl, I don't think that's the way you want to handle that. You might want to come in a little bit softer. You might not want to take up that situation like this. I don't think that's going to work out well for you. If you can't lead me, if you can't tell me what to do, how to do it properly, then you can't tell me what to do. Because anything you say is inadmissible. Anything you say, I'm going to throw it in the trash can because you're not working in wisdom. But if you can tell me what to do, and I trust that what you say is sound and reasonable and logical, because a good woman she's not going to get caught up in that. A good woman is not going to feel some type of way because you had to correct her. She's going to hear your correction. She's going to be grateful for it. She's going to adhere to it. You'll be able to tell her what to do. This woman is not going to fight back with you. She's not going to be combative with you. She's going to listen to you. She's going to submit to your will without hesitation, without reservation. She's going to hear you. She's going to see you. She's going to respect you because you come and correct every time. So you have to get in alignment with that. If you can't tell a woman what to do, then you're not going to be able to tell a woman what to do. Or I think I said it better. If you can tell a woman what to do, then you'll be able to tell her what to do. And it doesn't mean boss her around. It doesn't mean that you're being her father. It doesn't mean that you're acting like her parent. It just simply means if you can guide her and lead her, she is going to follow you and listen to you. If you can't, if you Tyrone on the corner wearing white tees, tight gray sweatpants with your boxes hanging out and some slides, you're not the kind of man that can tell any woman what to do. You can't even tell yourself what to do. You couldn't even tell yourself not to walk out the house looking like that. You couldn't even tell yourself to get off that corner. You couldn't even tell yourself to stop selling drugs and destruction to your people. You couldn't tell yourself to present yourself in a better way. And I don't care if you at the gas station or the corner store and you live right around the block, you just go and pick up a drink real quick. Irrelevant. Because a lot of y'all are out here like this on a daily basis. Most of y'all don't have nowhere to go. Not most. Some of y'all don't have nowhere to go. And you dress like you just rolled out of bed. I've had employees come to work dressed just like that. And I'm like, where are you going? What are you doing? Something I learned in sales. You got to look like money to make money. And it's not about, I know I just said about the money, but I'm saying when you present yourself a certain way, if you out here in public looking like a bum, you're going to be treated like a bum. If you can't enunciate your words and make coherent sentences and statements when you're talking to a woman, she's not going to hear anything you have to say. If you're not taking the lead and pursuing her properly and appropriately and not looking to just sleep with her, then you're doing good. But if that's the approach you're trying to take, if you're only showing her nice things or doing nice things just for the end goal to be that you're gonna sleep with her, don't waste that woman's time. That's another man's wife. Leave that woman alone. If you not coming correct, if you just want to play games and you just want to conquer her physically, leave her alone. Cause you for the streets. And you can't tell another woman what they need to do or how they supposed to submit or act when you don't know how. I'm so sick of these woke conscious brothers with hair like mine sitting Indian style in the middle of the forest, burning sage with some crystals, plaque, gingivitis all over their mouth, and they want to tell a woman how she's supposed to act. You ain't told yourself to look in the mirror and brush your teeth this morning. You can't tell me nothing. So quick to tell a woman how they supposed to be, but don't even hold themselves up to a certain standard. Y'all need to stop it. It's exhausting. There's a lot of good women out in the world, and the women are as equally exhausted as the good men. And if you just want a woman to sleep with, go find yourself. You're not going to find yourself on OnlyFans. You're not going to find yourself in the porn room. You need to sit alone with yourself. If you constantly need to be in a relationship with somebody, if you can't ever just be single, you need to figure out what's going on with you before you take the time to try to pursue a woman because you're not ready. If you still blaming other people for why you're not successful in life or why you haven't been as productive, then you're not taking responsibility. You're not ready. If little things that women do get on your nerves so much and you explode in anger and you can't function properly and you can't control yourself, you have no self-control, you're not ready. If you can't hold decent conversation with a woman, if you can't follow the course of the conversation, if you can't stay on the subject matter, thank you, you're not ready. If you still want to be out in the streets and wayward women can still entice you easy, if this woman can still speak to you and tell you things and got you all wrapped up around her little finger, you're not ready. Work on you first. Spend some time by yourself and ask yourself the question, why has my past relationships failed? Why have my past relationships failed? And if you have to first point the finger at her and say what all these other women did wrong, you're not taking accountability. If you ask that question and your response is, I don't know, you're not being honest with yourself. Sit yourself down, figure out what it is that has caused all these failed relationships. What have I been doing? What have I not been doing? Am I letting my flesh tell me what to do? Am I letting my flesh determine what kind of woman I want to entertain? Am I being the leader that I know I'm supposed to be? Am I taking it upon myself to educate myself in ways that would allow for me to be the type of husband and father I'm supposed to be? Not what the world says. All these high value men conversations, and a lot of times it has to do with money. Your money is not going to carry you. And there's a post floating around saying that this person said they felt messed up when they realize their flesh is getting them to commit all this kind of sin, and you can't even take your body with you. This is a skin suit. This is temporary. You can't take this with you. This flesh, this skin, none of this is real. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience, and we're all just trying to figure it out. But if your spirit is the only thing that's real, because whatever happens in the spiritual realm determines and dictates what happens in this physical realm we live in. If your spirit is messed up, if you're not even in alignment with your own spirit, with the spirit of the Most High, then you're out of order and nothing else is going to work out in your favor. Nothing. Because you're out of order. If you're out of order, you don't work. You don't function. You're encumbering the earth. So everything you do after these bets, nothing's going to work out right for you. Be steadfast. Be unmovable. Don't let these women come and sweep you off your feet and lie to you. Y'all need to peep that way before. If you see this woman sashaying up to you and she got her BBL and she got all this stuff going on with her, you don't even know what she looked like in real life, or you met her at the club and she twerked your life away, or y'all just had a couple of laughs and y'all met at the bar and she seemed cool. I like her. She got a nice vibe. She got a pretty smile. She was laughing at my jokes. That don't mean she your wife. She might be somebody else's. Because women should be at the bar married with no ring on too. That's what the wayward woman in Proverbs 7 did. She waited till her husband went out of town and she went on a manhunt. Went on a manhunt. Found the first sucker she could and talked him into getting into her house. And then boom. Death, destruction, and damnation. Be careful, y'all. I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep up with this. I'm gonna dig in a little bit more, but I just wanted to get that out. I asked the question a long time ago about what men wanted, and your responses surprised me, kind of. But I knew that a lot of you wanted more substantial things in a woman than what a woman responds to when she's asked what does she want in a man. A lot of times it comes dealing with money and things that make him a provider. Rarely do I ever hear, I want a man who can lead me. Because a lot of women don't like being told what to do. But there's a lot of men out here who can't tell women what to do because you're out of order with the Most High. You're not acting in the way that you're supposed to act in order to get the type of woman that you desire. You're acting in a way that's going to only attract trollops and whores. And if that's not what you want, then you need to put out something different. Stop entertaining those kind of women. Don't talk to them. Leave them where they stand. And if you feel like you coming off rude, oh well. You just saved yourself a lifetime of grief, stress, and worry. Okay? Y'all can put a stop to this. Y'all can put a stop to this today, man. Women can't cut up the way they cut up if y'all don't let them. Just like men can't cut up the way some of y'all cut up unless women let them. People will only treat you the way you allow them to treat you. And if you let a woman use you up, whether it's physically or financially, that's on you. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with her. Hold the line. Don't be spreading your semen all over the globe. Because some of y'all don't even have the funds to even care for these kids. So don't even get caught up in these situations that could cause you to be in a custody or child support dispute. Just don't do it. Ask a woman some hard questions the first time y'all encounter each other. And if she says something you like, leave it alone. Leave her alone. Leave her where she stands. Okay? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you to the ones who stayed and listened. It wasn't very many, but I appreciate you all the same. I will figure out this YouTube live situation another time, and I will see y'all there. I might see y'all here as well, but nothing ever comes on Instagram. I feel like I'm not in the algorithm or something. I don't know, but I keep hearing from different friends. Well, I didn't know you were going live. They didn't tell me. I didn't even see it. I don't know, but thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you heard my message. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or criticisms, you can always hit me up in the comments. You can hit me up in these comments here once it's posted. Um, It'll also be posted to YouTube as soon as I get done with this. I'll go ahead and post it. You can leave your comments there as well. We can have some nice dialogue. If any of you want to jump in later, get on the live with me. The door is open. Just let me know. Request a live while I'm talking, and if you have something you want to say, I will let you speak it. It would always be nice to have a male figure accompany with these types of topics, because I can tell you from a woman's perspective, but sometimes men need other men to tell them as well. So appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. It's late. Good night. See y'all later.